Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
How about Shem Shabbat?
Yabashim Yashabakata.
We starting at a different time, so it's probably gonna feel a bit weird. But we ain't gonna wait. Yeah, we ain't gonna wait for nobody. Um, what's that sound? You hear that?
It might be my little fridge, my refrigerator. Hold on. You hear it now?
Nah, it's straight. Give me just a second. Hold up. Hey,
Come.
shout the people out right quick. Like shout them out individually. Don't skip through. Shalom every single person, bro. We got time.
All right, come. It's Shalom, Soldier Kaya, Sister Joanne, Twan, Soldier Sakor, John, Kawal, Yara All, Marlboro, Kazakia, uh, Salaki, if I'm messing up your name, sis, Saleha, Hawada, Kasaja, Share That Thought, Captain Yaquad, Brother Rodney, Stevens, Soldier Tawabia, Captain Micaiah, Soldier Darak, Soldier Jeremiah, Ara All, Nabatia, Captain Yonatan, Shemaiah, Sister Hershey, Sister Baylor, Big Ma, Shalom, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Rakatah, Washamat, Nathan.
All right, con. All right. So as usual, we got a little lesson for y'all. We got a little clip. We're gonna get back to that we're gonna play. It's a Thanksgiving video, so of course we're gonna educate you guys. I will let y'all know that there's an article that I use every single year, and every single year they change the website, right? There's people that say they have problems finding certain things I put out and all that type of stuff. It's not because it's fake. It's because they literally, I don't know what it is. I find it on the website, I put it out there, they watch the videos, and then they delete that whole website. So, and I have to I have to go backtrack, find stuff, see if the person that made it reposted it in a different article under a different name and all that type of stuff. So it becomes tedious. But I found an article again under a different name because the link I had last year has been deleted again. So make sure that y'all take the link to this article that I'm going to show you guys after we watch the video, so that you have proof of everything that I'm going to say, right? Um, also, take credit of this video, because the video that we're going to watch first and foremost is going to be a video that explains the current way that they would explain Thanksgiving, right? The way that your children are going to be learning about it in school this year and every year after that, right? If it don't get any, worse than what it is now. So, yeah, I guess right now we'll go ahead and get right into it. Before we do, I do want to say, shout out to the brothers in the camp. We got other classes and stuff like that, other videos that we make, other, shows, so to speak, that we have. We got one tomorrow, Truth Tuesday, so y'all be sure to watch that, tune into that. It's normal time. It's 8:30. Then we got, could be some camp videos posted this week, possibly. And of course, we got the Friday night call. So y'all be sure to tune into that as well. All right.
Hey,
So, yeah. What's up?
Salaki, question. Is the RSVP closed for dedication?
Um, Nah, I'm gonna say they can still RSVP up until probably Thursday,
All right.
Wednesday, Thursday.
If you want to RSVP, there you go at the bottom of the screen. Also, real quick, SOT North Carolina will be starting to premiere the videos. Our videos will be premiering very shortly, so be looking for that. We'll drop information on the Facebook page. We'll drop information up here. We got some good, interesting videos for y'all with our camp out here in Greensboro, North Carolina. So y'all be sure to when we drop it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we drop our videos. So you can be edified, man. So that's that. Meet us at not Tabernacles, dedication, man. Meet us there. Matter of fact, come to camp. Woodruff Park, man. We'll be there. All right, I'm ready.
All right, come. All right, so give me just a second. Pull this thing up. So, like I said, this video that we're about to watch is basically a video. It's gonna explain to you exactly, it's a little synopsis of how they would explain Thanksgiving to be currently, right? The nice story that you heard when you was growing up, where it was just a bunch of Indians and white people that joined together to have a nice big feast. They had turkey and cranberry sauce and all that type of stuff, right? So, yeah, just listen to the story. It's gonna give you a little bit of history, a historical account, and we're gonna go from there. All right, y'all make sure to like the video as y'all come in the building because we are doing this at a different time right now. I'm gonna try to start coming in a little bit earlier.
The first Thanksgiving. American
schools
schools generally teach.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start trying to come in a little bit earlier. So this is gonna, most likely be the current normal time for right now. So y'all be sure to hit the like button. We're gonna go from there, all right? Once this thing finished loading. Give me a second.
While we waiting on that, get these lights up, man. Get these lights up. All right, let me see how many lights we got.
Conventional story about Indians that finished an amazing dinner. The end. But there's more to the tale. This video will explain the events around the first Thanksgiving and how it's not the image ingrained in tradition. At the start of the 17th century, southern New England was home to a variety of busy communities within several confederations. These were the people of the first light, and they called their home the Dawnland. Political leaders were known as sachems and had been trading with Europeans for over 100 years before the Pilgrims. Relations.
Did you hear double sound?
Yeah, I do hear double sound. What's the name of the video?
Does everybody hear double sound, or is it just you?
Everybody does.
Okay, hold on. There it is. Yeah, that's why. Okay.
We're going to run that back.
Yeah, I am. Put a 7 in the chat if it sounds good now.
American schools generally teach a conventional story about the meeting of pilgrims and Indians that finished with an amazing dinner. The end. But there's more to the tale. This video will explain the events around the first Thanksgiving and how it's not the image ingrained in tradition. At the start of the 17th century, southern New England was home to a variety of busy communities within several confederations. These were the people of the first light, and they called their home the Dawnland. Political leaders were known as sachems and had been trading with Europeans for over 100 years before the Pilgrims. Relations soured only after deceitful Europeans kidnapped locals to sell as slaves. Permanent European settlement was impossible due to the already high population of native occupants. But in 1616, tradesmen introduced a disease to the Dawnland, whose inhabitants died in droves from a lack of immunity. In 3 years, up to 90% were wiped out in several confederations, including the Wampanoag.
So I want y'all to, just keep in mind as you're watching this short video here, right? How nonchalant Esau is with certain things that happen, like literally wipe out the people. You know what I'm saying? Here we got the epidemic where they had the smallpox and different little things that they would put inside of the things they would trade with them, specifically blankets and stuff like that, right? So he basically skimmed through it real nonchalantly, right? Like it was something that happened. Yeah, okay, it is what it is, right? So in the article that we're going to read, it's going to go more in depth into those things to give you a real outline of the history so that you really understand the depth of what it was and, how serious of an event it was. Because when Esau tells the stories of these type of things to kind of get some of the heat off his back, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't really emphasize on things he should really emphasize. So I'm going to go back just so y'all understand what's going on. So right now he's explaining how, there was a sect of the people called the Wampanoag people. He's going to explain how some of them were traders, and this is how they eventually had a relationship with the white man, which is a lot deeper than that. We'll go into it when the article is read. All right.
And they called their home the Dawnland. Political leaders were known as sachems and had been trading with Europeans for over 100 years before the Pilgrims. Relations soured only after deceitful Europeans kidnapped locals to sell as slaves. Permanent European settlement was impossible due to the already high population of native occupants. But in 1616, tradesmen introduced a disease to the Dawnland, whose inhabitants died in droves from a lack of immunity. In 3 years, up to 90% were wiped out in several confederations, including the Wampanoag. Their head sachem, Massasoit, was aware of how close they were to being subjugated by their unafflicted enemy, the Narragansett. He was determined to save his people from such a fate. This was the political world the Pilgrims were about to enter. The Pilgrims were not called Pilgrims by their contemporaries. They were known as Separatists, a branch of the English Puritans. King James hated Puritans and began persecuting them in 1604, so the Separatists fled to Holland, where they were free to worship. But because they feared losing their national and communal identity, the congregation wanted a new place to plant their church. They decided on America and asked King James for a patent that would grant them rights to build a colony. They planned to make a profit catching fish to pay off the debts to their investors. The Mayflower set sail on September 6th. 2 months later, Cape.
So you got to understand how a lot of the stuff they said was true, but some of it is more folklore. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't really go in depth on exactly what King James was doing and all of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when I do a lesson on King James, I'll try to go more in depth into that. But yeah, just keep in mind and pay attention to the things that Esau's doing. Right? He's really giving you a nonchalant picture of the story to tell you things. Make it seem like, it was just a bunch of Christian settlers that were coming to the land. They had some things happen. They met the Indians. They had a feast after they got cool with the Indians. And then, they found out the Indians weren't going to convert. So, they just wiped them out. That's basically how he's going to explain it. So,
Cod was spotted and 16 men were sent to shore to inspect the area. Unfortunately, the settlers didn't know how to fish and food was running out. They resorted to stealing from graves, homes, and storage pits to keep everyone alive. Then came their first hostile encounter with natives, but no one was killed. On December 12th, they reached New Plymouth. They did not land on any specific rock, but folklore insists they did. Construction began in January. By winter's end, 44 settlers would be dead from bad conditions. In March, they were surprised when a man named Samoset walked into New Plymouth, greeting them in English. He told them they were building on top of a village called Patuxet, whose residents had all died from the recent epidemic. It belonged to the Wampanoag and their chief.
So Patuxet is a village, right, that was wiped out by the epidemic, right? The epidemic of their smallpox and the other diseases that they had hidden inside the blankets that they were trading with people with, right? Again, I think I told you guys this last year. There's a movie you can watch on Netflix, or a series rather, that kind of goes into this a little bit. It's called Frontier. So you can watch that. Kind of gives you a little insight on how they were trading with the settlers and stuff, the type of things that would happen as far as the wars. You know what I'm saying? And how the relationship between the natives and the Edomites wasn't as friendly as they would say it is in historical context today, right?
Massasoit was watching. The settlers were eager to trade, so 5 days later, Samoset returned with furs and companions, including Tisquantum. Known famously as Squanto, he had come to tell them in perfect English that Massasoit had arrived.
So we all know Squantum, right? Squantum's the one that was taken to Spain in, I think, 1614, brought back in 1619, and basically helped them learn how to farm. He was the one that taught them the farming methods, taught them about corn, taught them about potatoes, all that type of stuff, right? So, yeah, well, gams, so to speak. So, yeah, this is Squantum, and that's why Esau dressed him up, made him look different, because they're trying to say he was the, civilized one. He was the colonized native, so to speak, right? So that's why he's dressed up like a white man in the illustration. That doesn't mean he actually dressed like this. Doesn't mean he actually acted the way that they depicted him to do or to act, right? I personally don't think he did. Any of the research I did didn't really say he did. Just said that he spoke English. That was the only reason why he was able to teach them the stuff that he taught them. Because there was only one other native that spoke to them in an English language, and it was broken English. They didn't really understand it. So that's the whole reason Squantum was sent by the chief Massasoit, so that they would have somebody that could communicate with the white folks. That's basically the only reason why. Wasn't this civilized guy that they try to make him out to be and stuff like that.
After years of dealing with Englishmen, the sachem did not trust the newcomers. Edward Winslow was sent to be a hostage and declared the settlers' peaceful intentions. Satisfied, Massasoit walked into New Plymouth and was regally greeted by the governor. A peace treaty was created, ensuring mutual protection if attacked by enemies. With the help of Squanto, New Plymouth settlers began to fare better. He taught them how to grow crops and was absolutely vital as an interpreter. To the separatists,
you see, he was absolutely vital as an interpreter. You see how he just skipped over that? That was his main duty. His main duty wasn't to help them fish, help them learn how to crop and all that crap. That was something that came with it because, of course, the white folks are going to ask somebody that knows how to speak the language, hey, so how do y'all eat around here? You know what I'm saying? How do y'all farm? That's a question that Esau, his arrogant behind is going to ask a question like that. Like, yo, what do you natives do to eat around here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you niggas do for food? Like, how do y'all farm? You know what I'm saying? So they use Squantum basically to teach them that type of stuff. He was a vital interpreter to the white people. You know what I'm saying? That's all he was. So, yeah, exactly.
he was a gift from God. But in fact, Squanto had been kidnapped from Patuxet in 1614 and shipped to Spain to be sold into slavery. He ended up in London at the home of a merchant who taught him English and arranged for Squanto's return to the Don land in 1619. But Patuxet was now gone, wiped away by the epidemic. Massasoit took him in with suspicion because of his years abroad, but needed a translator to parley with the newcomers. He eventually sent his warrior Hobamok to live among the settlers and keep.
You see? So Squantum's whole duty was just to be an interpreter, to be able to basically spy on the white man. Because of his civilized manner already, or the fact that he had already been taken over there, Massasoit didn't know if he could fully trust him, so he sent one of his warriors out there basically to be the spy for him, right? Like you've seen a lot of the movies. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this is.
Keep an eye on Squanto. By fall, the settlers had a bountiful harvest and a feast was held to celebrate. Massasoit showed up with 90.
And you see the time period, right? It's October 26, 1621, right? So it's not too long after the first slave ship came over here, right? And notice how they already told you that a lot of the people have been wiped out from that epidemic, that smallpox epidemic. So it was basically them making room, right, for the slaves that they were going to start to bring to these same areas, right? The Virginia area, the Massachusetts area, the New Jersey area, the New York area, right? These are the same places where they wiped out the natives, right? Around the same time period, just 2 years before that. So, keep this all in mind.
Warriors and 5 deer for the meal. For 3 days, the English and Wampanoag ate and entertained one another. This was the famous first Thanksgiving children learn about in school. However, the word Thanksgiving would not have been used by these settlers to denote a harvest feast. For Puritans, a day of Thanksgiving was...
You see all them pictures, how they got... Look, see they got Jake trying to show Esau how to shoot the bow? That wasn't how it was. So I said, when you watch historical movies, when you read the books and all that type of stuff, you read the accounts like we're going to read from Maggie Dunn, right? A great Edomite historian on this topic. She tells the truth, right? From what it sounds like, she's mad at her people, almost like she know we the Israelites and stuff. I don't know if she does for real or not, but every time she remakes this damn article, because they delete it, you know what I'm saying? And she's angry when she does her speeches and stuff like that. So it's a lot of them that will tell the truth about it. You can't find real, actual, factual history and stuff like that on things that actually happened during this time period. But best movie that's easy to grab that you don't really got to pay for if you got Netflix is Frontier. It'll give you straight up, like firsthand account type stuff, you know what I'm saying, on how their relationships work. You don't see much of this going on right here, right? In fact, there's none of this going on right here. So, yeah.
By these settlers to denote a harvest feast. For Puritans, a day of Thanksgiving was a day of fasting while giving thanks to God in prayer. But the story of pilgrims and Indians does not end here. And
you see how he passed over that, right? So he said that for the Puritans, which is who these people were, right? Thanksgiving for them was a day of fasting and prayer, right? What were they fasting and praying, over, right? They were fasting the day before Thanksgiving, and prayer was for that, they would hope that they'd be able to defeat the Indians in the war, because as we're going to read, every time they'd have a war with the Indians and they would win, they would have a Thanksgiving feast, right? It was these same Puritans that would be fighting, right? They would be, Puritans on Sunday and bounty hunters throughout the rest of the damn week. So that's the way it worked with Esau, right?
In New Plymouth's first year, Squanto had been up to something. Realizing his substantial power as the only English speaker of his people, he conceived a plan to overthrow Massasoit. He persuaded locals he could command the English to make...
You understand? So now you see what happens when Jake gets around the white man. He starts to think like him and all that type of stuff. Now he wants to overthrow those people, and he's going to try to devise a plan to do so, right?
War or peace at his will. Hobomok was suspicious of Squanto and warned Governor Bradford. Soon enough, they discovered Squanto's plot and informed Massasoit, who was furious. He demanded Squanto be handed over for a swift execution. Bradford refused. The interpreter was too valuable to give up. But according...
See, so even though Esau was warned about the situation by the man who works for Massasoit, right, trying to protect Massasoit and the white man still went along and told Massasoit and then decided to keep the interpreter for himself, right, because he's too valuable. So that's how the pale fork tongue works, right? That's the snake right there. He'll play both sides of the fence until he gets what he wants. When he's got the possession he wants in his hand, he's not going to give him up to you, right? He's going to do whatever he can to keep him and, continue to use him. You know what I'm saying? If they had the opportunity to use Squantum for other tribes, I'm sure they did, right? And this is the reason why they didn't give him up.
To the treaty, Squanto's life belonged in the hands of his sachem. Bradford finally conceded. He was about to hand over Squanto when an unidentified ship appeared. The alarm it caused delayed Bradford and worried Massasoit's envoys. Angered and impatient, they left. The ship carried 60 Englishmen planning to build a colony near Boston. They abused the Massachusetts locals, initiating a conspiracy to kill the colonists. Warned about the plot, New Plymouth's leaders launched a preemptive strike to save their impudent countrymen. It brought peace for a time. In that time, more Puritan settlers arrived, soon outnumbering the natives. And while the Pilgrims' Treaty with Massasoit lasted until the sachem's death, other Puritans were not concerned with such alliances. Their fanatic religious principles ensured no peace between the two cultures could last. To Puritans, Native Americans were the other, wild, savage, godless. With such an ideology, the outcome was inevitable. If they did not convert to Christianity and surrender their cultural identity, they had to be eliminated. The first Thanksgiving was a brief moment of harmony between two worlds, but sadly it was short-lived. The capitalist opportunities the Dawnland presented, combined with zealous puritanical beliefs, were incentive enough to wipe away the native inhabitants. There is nothing wrong with sharing a feast of thanks with loved ones, but remember the true events that started the holiday, and not the fairy tale.
All right. So you see how I ended that? I ain't even going to go into it, but you see how I ended that, right? So now, stop sharing this. Shalom Natiza. Shalom anybody else that came into the building while we was watching that. Mina Israel, shalom. Right? But yeah, man, pale face knuckle monsters. I like that. But yeah, so that's what you got to understand. That's the first thing, right? First step one for your notes. Esau is going to lie about the situation. He's not going to tell you the facts about what's going on here, right? So we're going to go ahead and bring the Bible out right quick. Judah, if you want to bring that part out before I read this article, right? I want to get Deuteronomy 28 and 49 right quick. Because Moses warned us about this, right? Is it working? Okay, I see it.
It's the book of Deuteronomy.
Come in the building. What is that?
Slocky.
This is weird. The banner look blurry. Is that? You see that?
They changed it, but that's about it.
A little weird. Okay. Zoom in a little bit because we can't see that.
Okay, come on.
We're gonna read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49, right? Because this is prophesying how the white man was gonna come to the northern kingdom, right? Here, in America. So let's read that, right? This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 49. It says, "The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand," right? "A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young." And we see that that's what happened. whether it was the Northern Kingdom or the Southern Kingdom. That second part happened, right? That's it. That's all I want on that. But that's the first thing we gotta bring out, right? That this was the nation that came from afar. How did they come? They came on that ship, right? The Mayflower. And they hit Plymouth Rock, and then all hell broke loose from that moment, right? So we heard the white man's interpretation in the account, or of the account rather. Stop sharing that right quick for me, Judah. Now we're gonna get, it's another Edomite account, right? But it's a little bit more factual what we're gonna read. So, and point of this is you'll realize that a lot of people that are foreign, a lot of those foreign people say it's like an African Jake, right? Might come to the Americas, might have grew up in Europe, in England somewhere, right? And he's never heard of Thanksgiving. Or maybe he has. Thinks it's a super cool feast and all that type of stuff. You just get together with your family, eat turkey. Don't really know why you do the feast, right? So he comes over, starts doing his research, starts asking people what the feast is about. When he does his research on it, he finds out it's actually basically a massacre that the Americans are celebrating. So, he finds the same article that I found. This is Jeremiah Ageni, right? From November 24th, 2016. And there's a quote, there's an Edomite, a Jewish man, so to speak. His name is Walter Benjamin. That's why he's got the last name Benjamin, because, he think he's from the tribe of Benjamin. He's a Jewish person. So, but yeah, Walter has this quote, this famous quote that he's known for, right? History is written by the victors, right? So what you just saw is Walter's quote in real life in that video that we just played a minute ago, right? History being written by the victors. So we see that the history of Thanksgiving, right? The history of the events that actually happened when they were killing the natives and, destroying those people, all in the hopes of taking their land, right? These type of accounts, well, the factual ones were lost basically, and the false ones were the ones that were brought to the limelight, right? They get taught in school. You learn them even from kindergarten, right? You go to kindergarten and they teaching you these type of things. They teaching you the same little videos that we just saw a minute ago. They got you watching them in class. They show them to you when you were a kid, all the way up to when you in high school, 12th grade. So it puts you in a situation where you're groomed to mentally think about this being what happened, right? To the point where you don't even want to like research. What's the point? You think you know the facts about Thanksgiving already. You learned about it for 12 years of your life, 13 years, however long it was that you was in school, right? So that's what it ends up being. You put yourself in a situation where, when the truth comes out that you're celebrating Thanksgiving, because they have you groomed to think it's just a feast where you get with your family all year long or for a day, right? Every year. It grooms you to not really care about what the circumstances are, what the facts are. That's what it is, right? Same thing with Christmas or any of the holidays that they have, the 4th of July. It don't matter what we call it, what type of facts we bring out about it. As long as people have the opportunity to celebrate it and they're groomed to do so, it's going to be difficult for them to stop, right? And Esau knows this. That's why, he's a crafty. He's a crafty mug, bro. So that's what I want to say. I was gonna cuss, but I'm not. So yeah, we're gonna read this article. This beginning part is written by Jeremiah, but the actual article is written by a woman named Maggie Dunn. So you guys can read this. It's actually a little book. It's called The Real Story of Thanksgiving, right? And like I said, every year this becomes harder and harder to find. So I suggest that you guys look this up. You can look up The Real Story of Thanksgiving and then type in atlascorps.org, ATLASCORPS.org, right? Either before or after The Real Story of Thanksgiving, and you'll have this article pop up for you. Save it in your bookmark because it's going to be deleted next year. It's going to be under something else, but you'll at least have the name so you'll be able to find it. All right. So without further ado, Judah, if you could read that, if you could see it, if I need to zoom in, let me know.
I think I can see it.
Just a
All right. So it says, history is written by victors by Walter Benjamin. It reads, this is my first Thanksgiving in the United States. And from the lot I have to be thankful for, one more reason is this awesome opportunity I have to experience the season right in the United States. Seeing crash in shopping prices, the various Thanksgiving parades, a national holiday is also exciting and something definitely to be thankful for. Thank you, Atlas Corps. With the much I am learning about America and her culture, this Thanksgiving season has given me plenty of insight and understanding. Seeing how important Americans take this season, my curiosity begged for attention. As held by many, the season provides a time of reflection, sharing, and a time to show gratitude for the blessing of life. This is what it has come to mean. However, an event I attended earlier this month and what the speaker Maggie Dunn shared on prompted me to take a historical look beyond today's Thanksgiving celebrations.
All right, stop there. So basically, brother comes to America, you know what I'm saying, with the last name he's got. He's probably Igbo, right? So this most likely is a brother, and his first name Jeremiah, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. But brother comes to America from, overseas, and he's got this notion that Thanksgiving is just this regular happy feast, right? It's like a Christmas or something like that. But even the notion of Christmas is different over here, you know what I'm saying, than it is over there. We've gone into that before. But so yeah, he has his friends and stuff like that when it comes to the United States. He sees everybody celebrating it. He thinks it's cool, right? You know what I'm saying? They crash the shopping prices. They got the little Thanksgiving parades. He's talking about the Black Friday. That's what he means by the crashing the shopping prices and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got all that stuff going on. It seems nice and sweet. And then he goes to an event where this woman, Maggie Dunn, is actually telling you the truth about the stuff. And you're like, damn, what's all this mess she talking about? So he decides to go actually take an historical look beyond Thanksgiving. And what he comes to find, just to give a summary, because we're not going to read this whole, synopsis on what he felt about it. The moral was that, he came across this article, and this article seemed to be the facts about everything that he came across in his, research, just compiled into one little thing that you can have just for one, like for yourself, right? So hence why he decided to post the article or the book, story, whatever you want to call it. And so it starts here. This is the book again, or the story, the article, whatever you want to call it, by Maggie Dunn. So if you guys want to get this by itself, you're going to have to find it by itself. I haven't been able to do so for the last 2 years. But if you can find it, please send it to me. All right. So go ahead, Judah, start here at the story began. Oh, before we go, the sister Mina has asked if we will join Wi-Fi for a fast. Me being Tribal I'm most definitely down for that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm cool with that. Anybody else that wants to do it, y'all can join. They said they're gonna be doing it from Wednesday sundown to Thursday sundown, right? So yeah, fast for the Northern Kingdom one time, because Esau tries to play this holiday season off, so to speak, right? This whole month, because they know that it's a time of mourning for the natives. So you know what they've made this month, right? This is supposed to be Native American Heritage Month. At the same time, they have Thanksgiving in this month at the very end of it, right? You feel what I'm saying? So they're playing on Native American heritage because it's part of Native American heritage that we got killed and, busted up and stuffed and, our heads chopped off and all that type of stuff that we're about to read in this article, right? Kicked down the street like soccer balls, you know what I'm saying? Full villages burned down. Babies and women burned in buildings alive while the men were killed outside in their sleep, just so Esau could take a damn village, right? So, and then they had a feast called Thanksgiving. Yeah. So we're going to read it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hit the like button as y'all come in the building. Without further ado, if you never read this, take notes because it is, history. It's facts. You can look it up, find different sources on it because there's different people that have written on these things. She kind of compiled a bunch of sources and put them together in one article. So, if you take little bits and pieces of the things from this article, you'll be able to find more in-depth information on each little topic, each little village that burned down, each little situation, the one with the chief, how his head was put on the stake for a certain amount of time that we're going to read, and how the kids' heads were kicked down the street as soccer balls and all that stuff, right? So you'll find more in-depth information on all these all these different events, the plethora of things that happened on these different Thanksgiving feasts that eventually became the one Thanksgiving feast that we have at the end of November. All right?
It's lucky.
What's up?
I just want to read this quick precept. I'm just going to get it real quick. Psalms 73 and 8. It reads, they are corrupt, and they speak wickedly. Concerning oppression, they speak loftily. This is why Esau can, try to discount the folly day of Thanksgiving, and then in the same month try to make it Indigenous People Awareness Month or Native American Peoples Month or whatever they'll try to do. You know what I'm saying? They'll try to give you a just like they gave black folks, so-called black folks, Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's like, here, nigga, take your holiday and shut up. That's all that is. You know what I mean?
Hey, what David say? They sharpen their tongues like serpents, right? That Psalm 140 or something. Yeah, bro. That's Esau, man. The pale forked tongue. That's what we called him. That's what Dad called him, right? The pale face forked tongue cracker jack, right? That was him. So, all right. Hey, before we read the article, let's get Hosea 4 and 6. One time. Here, I'll take this down so you can pull it back up. Bow. You know what I'm saying? Because main reason we have to keep doing these little lessons every single year is because there's a lot of people that keep coming into the truth, right? Thank God. But a lot of them still don't have the facts about these different feast days that they keep, right? A lot of them are in the truth thinking it's cool to keep Thanksgiving because I've spoke to people, right? Yo, so what y'all doing for Thanksgiving, man? What you mean? Israelites don't do that. So that's the whole reason why I felt like doing this today, because I realize there's still people that come into this truth that don't actually know we're not supposed to be celebrating these things. Don't know why we're not supposed to be celebrating these things. So they still need the milk. They still need the lessons, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and get Hosea chapter 4 and 6, right? This is something that Esau counts on, which is why he wants our rappers to be passing out turkeys and stuff, right? He wants us to keep having Thanksgiving celebrations at work. He wants you to have all these different Thanksgiving things going on every single year when it's time for Thanksgiving, so that it's ingrained in your mind that it's okay, right? So go ahead and read that out.
The book of Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children.
You see that? And we've been forgotten, man. Because now we're out here literally keeping feast days that well, it's a play on the things that happen to our people. It's a feast day that's literally a slap in our face, right? If that's what you want to call it. Because, I mean, your brothers and sisters would be the Northern Kingdom if you're not Northern Kingdom. If you are Northern Kingdom, you playing it on yourself and you eating the turkey, which is a symbolization of your own people or yourself, whichever side of the spectrum you fall on, right? And your whole family is symbolically taking part in this act, this event, right? Which the same blood that's on the white man's hand ends up being on theirs. That's what Paul taught us, right? So these are the things we have to understand. This is the reason why we go over these lessons. So without further ado, the story began. Get that, brother.
The story began in 1614 when a band of English explorers sailed home to England with a ship full of, what was that, Patuxet Indians?
Patuit. You was close. Patuit Indians. There you go. Go ahead.
I was nowhere near close. Bound for slavery. They left behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out those who had escaped. By the time the Pilgrims arrived in Massachusetts Bay, they found only one living Patuit Indian, a man named Squanto, who had
So first thing first, right? We saw in the video, they brought up how there was a smallpox epidemic. It wiped out everybody, and that's how they was able to basically find the land that they found, right? They didn't make it known that, they were the ones passing out the smallpox. It came from them literally trading blankets, which was the main thing that they would trade. Fur blankets, because of the type of climate that they have up north, especially in Massachusetts, right? That whole area, the Virginia area and stuff like that. There's a lot of, well, hell, the conditions get real cold, especially around this time of year, right? It gets real brick outside. So Gad had a lot of different fur garments that they wear, a lot of fur blankets, whether it was, buffalo skin or what have you, right? And Esau didn't have much of that stuff coming over. A lot of that stuff get lost on the ship. You know what I'm saying? They get shipwrecked. They have to move to a different ship or something like that. All that stuff gets left behind. Whatever it might be, right? Stuff gets worn down. They weren't as good at making it because we were the ones that had the cutting artificers and stuff like that. So they would literally like to trade and get their stuff from us. That's what you see happening in that movie Frontier, which is why I want you to go watch it, right? Because it gives you like damn near a first-hand account. You get to literally see the type of stuff that would happen. When you do the research, that's the type of stuff that was going on. So, but they go through and they'll trade these blankets with the natives, with the people that are around them in their different areas. They started off with a little bartering system. That's how they would trade, get around, stuff like that, right? If you wanted to trade or barter with the native, main thing you'd be doing it with would be a blanket, right? And in exchange, they might give you some crops, you know what I'm saying, or vice versa. So, or some land, right? So, yeah, what they would do is once they got in cool with them and they started a good trade relationship, right? It basically become like a merchant relationship between two different businesses. Esau would screw you over, just like he does in real life now, right? So there's no new thing under the sun. But yeah, so like that's what happened. Jake ended up trusting Esau. Esau puts him in a situation where, he thinks he's won his trust, or he has won his trust, basically, and then Esau bite him. The snake got you. So that's what happened here. He found the Patua Indians. They wiped out the Patua Indians rather, and the only one left was Squanto, which he was known to be somebody that already knew about stuff because of his relationship with them in the past. So here they're going to talk about how he taught them how to grow fish and corn. We already know about all that stuff. So I'm going to skip that. Let's go to 1637. Yeah, let's start here. 1637. Let's get that.
All right. In 1637, near present-day Groton, Connecticut, over 700 men, women, and children of the Pequot tribe. Pequot tribe had gathered for the annual Green Corn Festival, which is our Thanksgiving celebration. In the pre-dawn hours, the sleeping Indians.
Look, that annual Green Corn Festival, that's like that's a harvest festival for the natives, right? So this is damn near like their feast of first fruits that they're having, right? That's what you would call it, or that's what they would have called it, right? But because of the climate, because of the place that they lived and the harvesting, the type of time of year that you would need to really plant some stuff at the last, you got to start it in the wintertime here in America in certain places, right? Because of the soil. So they would really start their whole season around this time. And by the time everything's the way it's supposed to be, come autumn time, fall, that's when they'd be able to have their main feast of their crops to celebrate everything that they've been able to gather for the year, right? So this was their basic feast of first fruits, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. And that's the same type of festival that they use to teach the white man how to grow the crops, you know what I'm saying, what the crops would look like after they, like, say the white man came a little bit earlier because they start coming May and March and stuff, right? So come October, they're like, okay, look, this is what the crops are going to look like if you do what you're supposed to do throughout the year. You till the soil throughout the year, everything you're supposed to do. You replant your seeds, everything, right? Like, they're showing them this is what it's going to look like at the end of the day. They see it, bam. All right, so now we're going to have a feast to allow these people to come and celebrate with us, the gatherings that we had for the year. This would be the same time that Esau would take his Thanksgiving feast as well, right? So we could continue there.
In the pre-dawn hours, the sleeping Indians were surrounded by English and Dutch mercenaries who ordered them to come outside.
The what Indians?
Sleeping Indians were surrounded by English and Dutch mercenaries who ordered them to come outside.
Okay, yeah. So as you see, off rip, it's an ambush that's gonna happen, right? Esau already knows. He's seen them fight. You saw the little picture where Esau showing the white man how to shoot the bow, right? It wasn't really like that. It was more so like we're hunting, gathering, right? They see us kill a deer too, because it's one article that'll show you that, right? There's actually an event, an account where there were some pilgrims or Protestants, whatever the hell they call, right? That was basically out there. They saw the natives literally hunting, right? They saw how they were able to use their bow and their spears, the type of weapons that they used on animals, from far distance, long distance, how they were able to track the animals, all that type of stuff. And they basically realized these ain't type of people we want to mess with. We ain't gonna be able to, if they do this stuff while they're hunting, imagine what they do in war, right? So they figured these are the things we're gonna have to do in order, like, if we're gonna overtake these people, we're gonna have sneak attacks. We're gonna have to ambush them. We're gonna have to catch them off guard. So first time they did it, it worked, and they kept on with that whole, way of doing things. So this is when it started, 1637. And they have this whole situation here where, now they've ambushed them. They have them surrounded. It's a bunch of men that are getting ready to fight, and you're going to see what's going to happen next. Go ahead, Al.
Let's see. Those who came out were shot or clubbed to death, while the terrified women and children were huddled inside. The longhouse were burned.
You see? So you know who came out. It was the men. That's how it was. That's how it goes, right? The men going to come out. They're going to fight, but they're sleeping. So say we have a armory, right? Because we're a tribe, we're a warlike people, right? You know what I'm saying? We didn't just keep our bows and arrows and our tent. It was an armory, right? When brothers and sisters have a fight inside the tribe, you don't want them getting weapons that could kill people and fight with it and stuff. So you keep all that stuff in the armory, right? It's guarded, all of that mess, right? So yeah, the tribes was built like that. That's how it was. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have their weapons at hand. They sleep. Esau knows this because Esau's been around the tribe, right? He has people like Squanto that could tell him stuff, and he speak English to him. Where do you guys keep your weapons? How do y'all live? You know what I'm saying? How do you handle your war situations? And this, that, and the third. So now they have the information. They got the drop, so to speak, right? As we would say today, on how they do things. If we catch them while they sleep, they're not going to have time to get to their weapons. And that's what happened. So the men coming out, trying to fight them with their bare hands. Esau got clubs, right? And muskets, and they're shooting them and clubbing them to death, right? The women and children stay inside once all the men are done, right? It's finished because it's a little village. It ain't that many people. It's not like they got a million folks there, right? So it's 700 people, but it's 700 men, women, and children, right? It was more women and children than it was men. You can believe that. So the men die, women and children are huddled up in their houses. The longhouse gets burnt. That's where the majority of them were, right? That's like where you would send the women and children to be protected or something like that. It's got the big doors, you know what I'm saying? It's fortified. It's got thicker walls or whatever they used to make walls for that tribe back then, you know what I'm saying? So that it would basically be a fortified area for you to be able to keep people protected. They burnt that whole thing down instead of trying to break through it. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, keep going out.
Con. The next day, the governor of Massachusetts Bay, the Massachusetts Bay Colony, declared a day of Thanksgiving because 700 unarmed men, women, and children had been murdered. Cheered by their victory, the brave colonists and their Indian allies attacked village after village. Women and children over 14 were sold into slavery, while the rest were murdered.
Oh, wait, you said something about slavery? Because still people that say the Northern Kingdom people ain't never went into slavery. What this white woman say?
Women and children over 14.
Israelite that wrote this article. This is Shesaw right here that just said that the Northern Kingdom Pequot Indians did what now? They was sold into who?
Women and children over 14 were sold into slavery.
Oh, damn. And the rest was what?
Murdered.
Oh, okay. Sound like Jake to me. Go ahead,
Boats loaded with as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England. Regularly left the ports of New England. I can't hardly see the periods, my bad. Bounties were paid for Indian scalps to encourage as many deaths as possible. Where we at? There we go.
Yeah, that shit just messed me up too. Hold up. Damn.
I'm starting
following.
Yeah, con. Following an especially successful raid against the Pequot in what is now Stamford, Connecticut, the churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate victory over the heathen savages.
You see that? So they had their first day of Thanksgiving after they burned down the village, after they killed people while they're sleeping, right? Even the women and children. And what's that scripture we read? Deuteronomy 28 and 50, right? That they won't regard the
Person
children.
of the old
Right?
and no show favor to the
Yeah,
young.
exactly. The water, because I was sure about to butcher that. But yeah, so there was no regard shown to the women and children specifically. Because after you kill the men that were trying to kill you, right? I understand that, right? They're trying to kill you. Okay, damn. You kill them. But the women and children, they huddled up in the crib, like scared. You know what I'm saying? And Esau burned them alive. You know what I'm saying? White man burned them alive. And the only thing they gave him was a damn Native American Heritage Month, bruh. You feel me? So, yeah, bro. Just keep reading.
People are the damn devil.
Just take notes, y'all. Take notes. It gets worse. This is the beginning, right? This was the first Thanksgiving feast. We got the second Thanksgiving feast after they killed the savages, right? All right, so let's see how savage it got.
I'm at. Oh, dang, that's terrible. I see where I'm at.
Feasting right here.
Yeah, that's bad. During the feasting, the hacked off heads of natives were kicked through the streets like soccer balls.
Okay, right? Take note of that. Because Esau said, oh, Thanksgiving is just a feast where you could get with your family. All right. Yep. While they were feasting with their family, they were kicking your brother's heads down the street like soccer balls, right? Picture, for all your brothers and sisters out there, right? Picture being on the plantation. Picture watching a slave movie, damn it. On the plantation, Esau eating food at the big house, and Cindy Lou and Jack is kicking, Otis' head down the street. Otis' head just rolling and stuff. They kicking it, playing soccer, right? Cindy Lou and Jack, right? Esau and Esau. So these are the type of things you got to put in perspective here. This is what was happening to your brothers and sisters. And now people celebrate it. They have a feast where they don't even talk about this type of stuff. But this is what the facts say. This is what the facts show, right? This was in Stamford, Connecticut. Done by churches. Yes. Not regular citizens. This was a church event. The big cross in the back. You feel me?
It was probably on fire.
Yeah, and guess what? They called them heathen savages. The heathen savages were the ones getting their hacked off heads kicked through the streets like soccer balls.
The heathen savages was the ones kicking their heads down the street. God doggy.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's Esau. Keep reading out. It gets worse.
I'm sure.
Honest Abe gonna tell the truth about it. Honest Abe, he don't lie about nothing.
It says, even the friendly Wapanal did not escape the madness. Their chief was beheaded and his head impaled on a pole in Plymouth.
For how long?
In Massachusetts, where it remained on display for 24 years. That sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar because you read that before, brother.
I read that somewhere before.
We read it last year.
Yeah.
Yes, what I'm saying? Look, bro. They put the brother's head on a spike, like in Lord of the Rings or something. And it stayed there for 24 years. This is America.
Now, when ISIL and ISIS was doing that, America acted like they have never seen nothing like this in their life. Like
this was crazy. They never seen
savagery. Wonder what we got.
It's like, what are you talking about? Y'all celebrate this mess every year. You have a whole feast where you celebrate it. You put the nigga head on. I'm sorry. Put the brother head on this spike for 24 years. And every year for them 24 years, his tribesmen got their heads kicked through the streets by the church members. You know what I'm saying? That's the sad thing, if they don't bring that out of church. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of deceit. It's a lot of deceit right there going on. All right, keep reading out. It gets worse.
Oh Lord. The killings came more and more frenzied, with days of Thanksgiving feasts being held. Damn. Oh
Go
man.
ahead.
With days of Thanksgiving feasts being held after each successful massacre.
Okay, so look, say Tuesday they had a feast. You know what I'm saying? All right, it was a successful massacre. Thursday they get tried by Thursday they get tried by some people, right? By a tribe. They get tried by a tribe. And then they go out there, fight that tribe, win, have a Thanksgiving feast. They might have 4 feasts in the same day and week. Thanksgiving. So I know we say every year, right? What's Thanksgiving mean? Thanks for giving us this land. Thanks for giving us your people, right? Who they was praying to? Us. We've done the videos where they knew we was the Israelites before, right? We've gone briefly into the history on the expansion and how they, kicked out Israelites and stuff. And we were going we were going through the Moorish sign stuff. Moorish sign. We were going over the Moors, right?
Mm-hmm.
On our Milk Monday video, when we went over the Moors and stuff, we literally went through how Esau knew Israelites was over here, right? Esau knew there was Israelites over there in England. He made the Israelites in England and Europe and stuff like that convert or get shipped to Africa, right? And then once they came into contact with the native people, it was the same thing. Convert or be shipped to England. And Squanto was one of those people that got shipped. And he was just brought back. That's how he made it back to America. And he got on the boat twice. So that proves they're moving natives back and forth from Americas to Europe, right? It wasn't just a one-way trip. Because Squanto went there and came back. You feel me? He worked in the kitchen. He was washing dishes when you do the history on him. He was a dishwasher in Spain and then moved back after from 1614 to 1619. So it was the same type of things that happened, to the black man. Same stuff happened to the native people. Issachar, all of them, right? So we just got to understand and really feel the depth of the deceit. Because this video that we watched earlier ain't tell us none of this stuff, right? Didn't mention anything like that. Didn't tell you about anybody's heads being hacked off. Didn't tell you about no chiefs' heads being chopped off or even put on display. Didn't tell you about any churches killing anybody, right? It told you about Abraham Lincoln, but it didn't tell you about what it's about to tell you about him decreeing it after a war, right? So that's how Esau tells us history. What the beginning of the article said? History is written by the victors, right?
Mm.
They can say whatever they want at this point because they won. And that's what they do. They saying whatever they want at this point. But we got the facts, so we're going to read them. Go ahead, Doc.
George Washington finally suggested that only one day of Thanksgiving per year be set aside instead of celebrating each and every massacre. Later, Abraham Lincoln decreed Thanksgiving Day to be a legal national holiday during the Civil War. On the same day, he ordered troops to march against the starving, or was it Sioux?
Starving Sioux.
Sioux in Minnesota. The
Starving
story.
Sioux. These are the same people or a sect of the tribe that they were doing the pipeline massacre stuff with, right? Where they were going through the pipeline trying to, drill through and stuff a couple years ago when Trump was in office and everything. These are the same people. So they've been messing with this tribe specifically for a long time. The Sioux people, it's like broken into 4 different sects, and all 4 sects have been heavily terrorized by Esau. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. That's the Sioux. Go ahead, though.
Salaki.
This story.
Come. The story doesn't have quite the same fuzzy feelings associated with it as the one where Indians and pilgrims were all sitting together at the big feast. But we need to learn our true history so it won't ever be repeated. Next Thanksgiving, when you gather with your loved ones, thank God for all your blessings. Think about those people who only wanted to live their lives and raise their families. They also took out time to say thank you to the Creator for all things.
Mm-hmm.
So, so there you have it.
Let's sit on that because the rest of that is just his opinion. So I mean, that ain't the full article. A little bit of it was cut short because we had the full thing last year. There was more history that they would have been able to give you on Abe Lincoln and how he basically terrorized the place, and he had his own different days for Thanksgiving and eventually came up with one, which is why we have it now on, like, what's this, the last Thursday of the month that they have it on now. So yeah, that was all Abe Lincoln's idea originally. So
I got one real quick, just real fast. Because this is after Thanksgiving and all of that, right? But this is something that Esau did to the Indians. Can you give me Deuteronomy 28 and
pull it up on that thing.
Oh yeah, Salaki, my bad.
Pull it up, man. Pull it up.
And I'm gonna get a little article real quick. Share. All right, boom.
Yes. I mean, it just needs to be understood, man, that Esau is just a lying mug. He's a liar, bro. He's never going to tell you the truth about anything. That's why you got to do the research for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't lean on the understanding that he's trying to give you. You got to really do the research that like for yourself, right? And when you think you did the research well enough, keep trying to do more research because you're going to find more and more stuff every time you look. Guarantee you that. Because I find more and more stuff every time I look. Go ahead, or what you want? Zoom in. I can't read that.
Hold on, I got you.
He's gracious. Brother think I got Cyclops eyes or something.
All right, there you go.
All right, Deuteronomy 28:31. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thine face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them.
So let's find somewhere where we're gonna find some history where Esau killed. Basically, it's saying that your livelihood, what you eat off of, will be killed or stolen away from you. All right, I'm just gonna get a quick article, man. I'm not gonna read it. I just want to show it to y'all. I really want to show you what Esau said.
If you want to be real, while he's getting that article, a lot of the curses in Deuteronomy have something to do with Esau taking stuff from them. You know what I'm saying? Happened with the Southern Kingdom too, but a lot of that happened specifically just in America. I'm talking about to the Northern Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And Gad in particular, right? So because they had the portion of land here to be taken, so most was taken from them. Kill every buffalo you can. Every buffalo dead is an Indian gone. You feel that?
Now you're gonna see this in one of our upcoming SOT North Carolina videos where we reference this, right? And I'm gonna show you. Let me see if they got the pictures in here. Salakia. But if you look up, it's called the
buffalo is damn near extinct, right? There's a reason why.
It's called the Buffalo Massacre. Oh, look at this. Sherman knew that as long as the Sioux hunted buffalo, they would never surrender.
I told you they've been messing with the Sioux for a long time.
Now we're gonna look up really quick the Buffalo Massacre. 1873, real quick, and I just want to show you this picture. Look at this right here.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is the extent. Exactly. This is the extent that your friendly neighborhood white man will go to make sure that your Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters went extinct. Just think about how many
is
skulls that is.
right. They had a machine come and dump all them skulls of the buffaloes. So you wonder why, you know, they got so many buffalo skins they could make damn jackets out of back then and stuff like that. Because they literally killed them all. Why they killed all the buffaloes? Because they know that was the favorite food, you know, of the Indians. It was the easiest thing that they could get their hands on because it was such a wide, you know, variety of them out there. It's different type of buffalo, but they was widespread throughout the whole Northeast and, you know, Midwest basic spectrum of the United States of America, right? So what they did is they went ahead and killed majority of them, damn near all of them, to the point where, okay, now they don't got no main source of food. They got to go scavenge for animals that are quicker, that are easier to get away, like deer. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to hunt a deer nowadays because there's not no other animals out there. You know what I'm saying? It used to be more buffalo. Like the way you hit a deer on the road now in Georgia is the same way. Like it would have been a buffalo back then. You know what I'm saying? Because there was so many of them. And the deer would have been out further in the outskirts. They wouldn't have been so close to like civilization and stuff like that. It was the buffalo that was that type of animal before. Now we messing with the deers and stuff like that because they have room to move into closer proximity to civilization because the buffalo gone. It's done, right? The moose is gone. You know what I'm saying? Because Esau liked to eat the moose. The Canadian people, when they came over here, they was tearing that thing up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all these different animals, man. Especially anything that they knew was a prime source of food for us, they take it out. Go ahead.
I just want to put something into perspective. Now, I'm gonna go back to it real fast. When we look at this picture, when we look at these two pictures that we just looked at, right? You see how they posting up with the skins of the buffalo right here, right? You see how they posting up, foot sitting on the skull, taking pictures. Esau is the same today, yesterday, and tomorrow. This was in the 1800s.
Hey, look, move down.
Yo.
Oh, he should have put. He was doing the Captain Morgan jump.
Hold on, I'm going back.
On the skull.
On the top. That's what I was pointing out right
No,
here.
at the bottom. Look right here.
He doing it down there too. They both doing it. So look, but let's put something into perspective real quick. This is similar poses that they used to do with our ancestors while they were hanging on trees at lynchings. They took joy in our destruction, man, and they were prideful with it, man.
Yeah, honestly, this might have been the same thing. This might have been the same as hanging us on the trees, because you know
this is the equivalent.
What's gonna happen? They're gonna starve to death.
Hey, I heard a saying that said, if you want to kill a people, you take away you take control over their food, take control over their education and their God, and they're finished.
And what happened? They brought them, they took away their food, right? So that, okay, now we got to go to the white man for food, right? That Deuteronomy 28:48. So, okay, now we go to the white man for food. All right. Now, while you in the proximity of the white man for food, he's starting to educate you. Now he's making you change your education system around. Hey, you want this food still? You need to start learning what we're teaching.
Now you no longer know who he really is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
now he's teaching you.
The victors write the story.
He's pretending to be your friend and stuff. Yeah, exactly. You feel?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then what happens? The church gets involved. Oh, well, since you guys know what we know now, how about you guys become Puritans? You could wear a nice little, you know, a nice little tie and a suit. You ain't got to wear those filthy rags anymore, you know, with the fringes and stuff. What are those? That's how you used to do it. And then you start dressing like Squanto. But yeah. Wow, that's crazy. So let's get some scriptures. How about that? Let me get. I want Psalm. I think I want Psalm 35. Oh, you know what? Give me Isaiah 59 first. Select.
What verse you want?
59 and verse 1.
Okay,
Isaiah 59:1. Check
Book
this
of
out.
Isaiah,
Go ahead.
this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59 and verse 1. Behold, the Most High's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear.
You see? So that's the main thing we got to think about the Most High, especially when it comes to these feast days and everything like that, right? A lot of our people are caught up in these feasts. Let me bring this out right quick. This is 1 Corinthians. You can keep it on where you at. This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 18. It says, behold, Israel after the flesh. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 18. Behold, Israel after the flesh are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar, right? So if there's a sacrifice or a feast, so to speak, that's made up in the name of Thanksgiving, you partake in that feast. You might as well be partaker of the people that put that feast originally on the altar, right? That prepared all that food for whatever event that's about to go down. Your hands might as well be a part of that, right? So if it's the blood of your brothers and sisters that turkey is symbolizing, right? That's stuffing the things that they used to stuff them with, because that's something else that they didn't put in that article. That's something that we used to bring out in the article, right? How they what you call it? The Pilgrims, they started stuffing Native Americans with bread, right? They kill a native, they put bread in his mouth. And then we started doing the same thing. My tribe specifically was the first one to do it, the Comanche. And then we had a special knife called a karambit that we used to scalp them with. So we used to stuff their bread with stuff their mouth with bread and scalp them afterwards, right? And leave them there for their friends and people to find. And then they took it a step further. They started chopping our heads off and stuffing our heads with bread, stuffing our bodies, right? And that's where the symbolization comes from for the stuffing and the turkey. And then the cranberry juice was the blood that used to come out after we're being stuffed. So, that's the whole, hell, that's your dinner on Thursday, right? Turkey, stuffing, cranberries. Israelite body. That's what it was. That's the symbolization, right? And according to what Paul said, if you believe him, he said, behold, after the flesh are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar, right? What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? So, what's the problem here? Is it the actual idol? Is it the turkey? Or is it the fact that the turkey, or is it what the turkey symbolizes, so to speak, right? Is it that you're eating turkey, or is it that, you're eating turkey on the day of Thanksgiving, and the turkey that you're eating specifically is symbolizing your brother's dead body, right? So it says, but I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, meaning, any of these feast days that Esau has that he's put together, or any of the damn heathen for that matter, they sacrifice to devils, right? And not to God. So whatever they sacrifice is, whatever their feast day is going to be, it's not going to be the Most High. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils, because ye cannot drink the cup of the Most High and drink the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of devils. So you got to pick a side, right? That's why we choose not to celebrate Thanksgiving. Israelites that you see, we choose not to do it, right? We understand it's a time for us to get with the family and stuff like that. We might get with the family and everything like that, but we're not going to be sitting at the table eating with them. You know what I'm saying? Might go over there, grab a piece of them, and walk upstairs or leave the house or whatever it is. But you know what I'm saying? We're not fun to sit at the table and eat turkey and dressing and all that mess with you. Play the little Thanksgiving games where you all that little stupid stuff that you do on Thanksgiving. We ain't doing none of that no more, right? Because that type of stuff would make us partakers at the altar. We might as well be the Edomites that killed our people. You feel me? So go back to Isaiah 59:1.
Isaiah 59:1. Behold, the Most High's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear.
Okay, Mike. Well, just chill out, Mikey. If you don't understand, we'll make sure that we make it understandable for you. Just stick around. This ain't about the Old Testament or New Testament. This is about Thanksgiving, brother. So, pay attention. All right. We actually in the Old Testament right now. So you shouldn't have nothing to worry about.
You ain't even making sense, but whatever.
He said, leave the Old Testament alone, right? The New Testament talks about it too, but we're going to read this for a second, all right? Go ahead,
But your iniquities have separated between you and your power.
Uh-huh.
And your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies.
So that's what tends to happen when you, end up partaking in this feast day, right? Your iniquities become, things that separate you from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Your hands end up being defiled with blood. Why? Because you're using them hands to eat that damn turkey. And that turkey symbolizes your brother, right? That's a Wampanoag person. Got their head chopped off. That's a Comanche. That's a Cherokee. Half you niggas think you Cherokee, right? That's your great grandma you eating on damn Thanksgiving, bro. You feel me? So, that's how you got to look at it. That's the fact of the matter. Right? So you've got blood on your hands now. Every time you go eat that thing, you sit at the table with them. You partaking in that whole ceremonial feast with them and stuff like that. You might as well be a pilgrim. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Salaki.
Passover's a little while from now, but we got Feast of Dedication, Mikey, coming up on what's that, Sunday? Yeah, it's a little bit closer. You could look to that one instead of jumping all the way to Passover. We got a lot of feast days before that. You feel me? So, decently and in order. You feel what I'm saying, Mikey? That's New Testament for you. Yeah.
I like we teaching a class, King, so it's not like we just talking to you by yourself. We teaching the whole class. He said
Salah. He said, let the music play. I like this, brother. All right, look. Yeah. Keep reading.
Verse 3. No, I didn't finish that. I'm going to start over in verse 3. For your hands were defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies. Your tongue have... You just blocked the doggone verse.
My bad.
Your tongue have murdered perverseness. Verse 4. None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies.
And that's the problem, right? So a lot of our people, they ain't worried about the truth. You know what I'm saying? They'd rather speak the lies and have the blood on their hands. That's all I want that for. They'd rather speak the lies, have the blood on their hands and everything like that, just to continue to be able to eat that food on their day off, right? With their family and stuff. You can eat food and have you a nice little feast, any day of the damn week. Why you got to do it just on Thanksgiving? Right? You can make you a turkey any day. We have turkey in my damn house every week. Once a week. You know what I'm saying? You can eat turkey whenever you feel like it. Why you got to do it on Thanksgiving? I ain't going to eat turkey on Thanksgiving. Huh?
Traditions of men.
That's exactly what it is, right? We're going to talk about that in just a second. In fact, yeah. Psalm 35 and 11. Let's start to talk about that for a second, right? Mikey, I know you ain't gonna like that, Mikey, but sorry, brother. Gonna go back to the Old Testament for a second. Psalm chapter 35, verse 11.
The book of Psalms, chapter 35, verse 11. False witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things that I knew not. They will water me for evil. So, they will warn me evil for good, to the spoiling of my soul. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and prayer returned unto my own bosom.
You see that? So who you think he's talking about here, right? I'm likening this right here specifically because of the lesson that we're talking about. This is Esau, buddy, right? False witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things that I knew not, right? They rewarded me evil for good, to the spoiling of my soul. Anytime an Edomite came in contact with a native, you think the native knew what Esau was actually thinking? You think that he knew, this dude is about to kill me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be nice to this man. I'm going to give him everything I got. I'm going to, hell, you've heard Joel tell that story all the time. I think the book he got it from is called, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Oh man, it's gonna come back to me. But it's a book that he always references where they basically tell you about how the native people came with a whole utopia, a cornucopia of things, right? And they basically gave the white man everything they had until they wept, right? Wasn't none left. White man the whole time is thinking, or making it seem like they're cool, they're real thankful for the things that were given them. Instead, they're false witnesses, right? Whole time they thinking something in the back of their head that's contrary for us and to us. You understand what I'm saying? So it says, but as for me, when they were sick, meaning the crackers, right? When they had their smallpox, when they was going through their things, right? My clothes was sackcloth because we was praying for them. We was trying to heal them up. We was trying to help them. What did they do? They turned around and gave us the damn disease. They threw us the damn smallpox blankets. Made sure that we was sick. And when we got sick, we ain't had nobody to help us. So wipe this out, right? We helped them stay around and they didn't help us stick around. They helped wipe us out. That's how they are, right?
So,
we fasted for them. They put out the muskets and killed us while we was asleep. You see the difference? Huh? The Cain and Abel type narrative, right? We act like a brother and they refer like they respond and I'm my brother's keeper, bow. Feel me? That's the white man for you. But go ahead, read that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. At 14, I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily as one that mourned for his mother. But in my adversity they rejoiced and gathered themselves together. Yea, the abjects gathered themselves together against me, and I knew it not. They did tear me and cease not.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
With hypocritical mockery.
Oh, but look. So it says, but mine adversary they rejoiced, right? They gathered themselves together. Yeah, the abjects gathered themselves together against me, right? So if we put this in perspective, we could say that the me is the natives, right? The abjects is the damn ops, right? The white folks, the crackers, the white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, Esau, right? So these people, put them in a situation where, okay, they've got the opportunity to turn the other cheek, you know what I'm saying, as they tell us to do, right? They got the opportunity it's all this land in America. It's not all, completely inhabited. So let's just take whatever they give us, right? No, they don't do that. They want it all for themselves, right? So go ahead, keep going on that.
Verse 16. With hypocritical mockers and feasts, they gnashed upon me with their teeth.
Right? Because what are we doing? We're giving them feasts and stuff like that. We're showing them the feast on our national harvest day, right? On our big time basic feast of first fruits that we have it. They call it Thanksgiving. And what they do, they mock it, right? By doing another Thanksgiving after they kill us, after we damn have the feast with them in our sleep. Then they have another Thanksgiving. After they do the same thing, and it continues over and over and over again, nonstop, until now it's a national holiday, right? Literally mocking us. And in that same month of the national holiday, they're going to call it Native American Heritage Month. These are the mockers in feast, right? And they gnash upon me with their teeth. They're just chewing on us right now. Right? Till they're ready to spit us out. That's the white man. That's Esau. That's your big brother. Right? That's why we don't mess with them. Because they had the opportunity to make that stuff right. They did. What, they put you on reservations? Some brothers and sisters think, oh, white folks got, the natives got reservations. Yeah. You ever been on a reservation? You ever went to one? You ever looked at one? You ever watched a YouTube video, damn it? A documentary? Anything? Most reservations look worse than your hood. Worst hoods in America, most of them don't look as bad as the worst reservations. That's a fact. In the worst hoods, you still got a house. There's reservations that got shacks, like the little joints in Haiti that the Clintons built that nobody lived in because they weren't allowed to. Federal regulations in Haiti wouldn't allow it or permit it. but the natives in America are living like that on reservations. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Lord, how long wilt thou look on? Rescue my soul from their destruction, my darling from the lions.
So he's saying, yo, Lord, how long will you look on? Like, rescue us. We're supposed to be your jewels, right? Rescue us from these, I ain't gonna call them lions, rescue us from these eagles, right? Go ahead.
I will give thee thanks in the great congregation. I will praise thee among much people.
Mm-hmm.
Let not them that are mine enemies wrongfully rejoice over me.
Right?
Neither let them wink with the eye that hate me without a cause.
Yeah, man, because that's what they're doing. They winking with the eye. They hate us without a cause. What did we do to make them hate the natives? We didn't do nothing but give them everything we had, including the land. We taught them how to crop, eat, fish, hunt.
Wash they behind.
Wash they behind. Where to wash they behind? Because Esau ain't looking for no lake.
They're going to do it right in front of everybody. Kids.
Yeah. Oh, it's Walter. Oh, yes. He'll do that jump right in the middle of the village. You got to tell him, yo.
Hey, yo, we ignoring Mikey, man. We ignoring Mikey. He ain't going to hit the link.
I ain't sending no link to Mikey.
I know.
Got doctrines.
We'll be up here all night. It won't be not one scripture coming up.
He said, Japheth the cracker, bro. You got it backwards. Okay, Japheth was black, brother. We got a video on it. Mikey.
And bro.
Mikey, are you that preacher? Nah.
No,
okay. Yeah, study for yourself. But the Bible says, lean not on your own understanding, right? It says, study to show thyself approved, but it, says, lean not on your own understanding, right? So,
hey, he said, study for yourself, but you up here trying to teach us. I rather study for myself.
Yeah, and the self-study I did says that Japheth was blacker than black, brother. Mm-hmm. Look up the what's they called? I'm gonna look them up for you right quick. What I want? What's the next scripture I want you to get, Judah? Give me Amos chapter 5 and 15. Let's stay in the Old Testament since Mikey ain't gonna like it.
Oh my Lord. It's the book of Amos, chapter 5.
Ain't they called the Manoans, huh?
I heard of that.
Ain't those what the black Greek people called?
I'm not 100% sure now.
I think that's what they call it. Let me see.
Hey man, I don't know everything, King. I'm still learning as I go. You're right, I don't know nothing either. You're right, King.
Go ahead and read that Amos out.
Come. This is Amos chapter 5 and verse 15. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that the Most High Power of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. Therefore, the Most High, the Power of hosts, the Lord saying thus, wailing shall
That's
be...
all I want. Hold up. Salaki, my bad. 5 and 15. Hate the evil, love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that the Lord, God of hosts, will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph, right? That's all I wanted. Because that's what we got to do. We got to hate the evil and love the good, right? Main thing to do in perspective and in respect to this is to love the feast days of the Most High, hate the feast days that the crackers gave, including Thanksgiving. Because ain't nothing righteous about this feast day. Nothing at all, right? Give me Amos 5 and 21 since you're here. My will.
Verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though you offer me burnt offerings with your meat offerings, Salaki, Though you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy vows.
Yeah, hold on. I think I'm sorry, Judah. I was trying to find that jump to that verse. Yeah. Okay. You're going to read that again. I ain't going to lie to you.
Okay, kind of salaki.
So, yeah, Amos 5:21. The Most High despised your feast days, right? Read that one more time.
Amos chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
You see that? He hates and he despises your feast days, and he will not smell at your solemn assemblies. You feel me?
Come.
Yeah, man.
Though you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy vows.
Mm-hmm. That's facts, man. That's all we need. That's all we need. So the Most High not messing with the feast days, man. How many of them? All of them. Ain't none of them that you rock with. All of your feast days are trash to the Most High. Don't matter how many of them it is that you follow. If they're not the ones from this Bible, then the Most High is not dealing with them. Right?
Hey, Mikey, we appreciate you, King. All praise to the Most High, King.
Yeah, bro. Feel you for the wisdom. Thank you, brother. Yeah. I understand where you're coming from, too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All right. Sirach chapter 20, verse 29.
All right. Oh, what they do with the Apocrypha? It was just
damn. Yeah. All right. We'll skip that one just for right now. I forgot this. Yeah. We'll go to
there you go.
Jeremiah. Oh, you found it?
Yeah, they switched from 16:11. You said Sirach chapter what?
20 and 29.
All right, boom. The book of Sirach chapter 20 and verse 29.
Hey, right, it's cool. Just let him go. You know.
Stall him out.
He'll be all right. We're gonna see if he's gonna learn something. If he don't, then he can talk to himself in the comments. All right.
The book of Sirach, chapter 20, verse 29. Presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove.
Right, in a present and a gift. So you got to think, right? Most of our people are never going to reprove Thanksgiving unless they come into the truth, right? Mainly because of what? It's not something that they're going to want to do due to the present and the gift. They got a gift of the day off, right? They got a gift of a feast they get to have with their family. You know, sometimes they give presents depending on the type of family you got. Some families give presents on damn Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. So, you know, and then we got Black Friday right after that, where they lower the prices on things. They're giving you discounts. Some stuff you're going to get for free, right? All to keep you in tune with this holiday, this feast day, to keep you in it all year, every year, right? Some people wait all year long for Black Friday just so they could buy whatever the hell they was going to buy. Right. Waiting for the new Jordan release, whatever colorway or whatever damn shoe he going to drop this year on the damn Black Friday. He do it every year. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. Brothers and sisters is in tune to all the BS, right? Wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. You know what I'm saying?
So, like you.
Yeah.
And this goes back to the law, right? It's in the law that you're not supposed to accept gifts or bribery, you know, in the place of giving judgment. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it says the gift destroys the heart. You're not supposed to, you know, when somebody tries to flatter you with gifts so you don't judge, you're supposed to not partake of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with these feast days, man. Esau give you a day off. It ain't like you can just go to work anyway, but that don't mean you stop reproving these folly days. You get on class and you teach your people that these days are folly days, even on your day off, man. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. In fact, this is what you got to teach them right here. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2, right? Because there's scriptures. You could just, hey, you believe in the Bible? Yeah. You doing Thanksgiving? Yeah. Me and my family, we're gonna cook. I'm gonna be cooking this, that, and the third. We're gonna get up at 9 o'clock in the morning so we can have the food ready by 2:30 so everybody can eat. Yep, we're gonna have the pork chops and all that stuff going. We're gonna have big old turkey, smoked ham, you know what I'm saying? Collard greens, cornbread, honey glaze, all that stuff that they eat, right? Some of them families in Georgia, New Orleans, they're gonna have their damn shrimp, crab, lobster for Thanksgiving. You know how it is. Jake with the holidays, they go all out, right? So Jeremiah 10:2. This is what the Most High said.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 2. Lucky, I zoomed in a little bit too much. Thus said the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right? So the main part I wanted there, obviously, was the beginning of that part, right? Learn not the way of the heathen, man. What's ways of the heathen? Well, let's celebrate a feast day that we had where we killed a bunch of brothers and sisters. Let's celebrate that thing every single year. Let's make a turkey. Let's have a food symbolic of their body parts for that feast day every single year. Right? Learn not the way of the heathen, man. Mark chapter 7, verse 6. Because at the end of the day, like Judah said earlier, right, it's all about you having traditions of men. That's the whole reason why you do this. If you were privy to the traditions and why you have the traditions and, actually educated them or educated yourself on why the white man made these 10 traditions, if you ain't got the same thought process as the white man, then it's not going to make you want to keep following these traditions. You're not going to want to keep them anymore. It's not going to be a point, right? Because you start to realize, hey, okay, I'm not an Edomite, so why am I keeping the feast days that they have? Then you start to learn, well, you got your own feast days. They got nothing to do with their feast days. You know what I'm saying? So, again, why am I keeping the feast days that they have? Right? That's good, Mike. No lobster, no crab. That's what I'm saying, bro. No ham. All right.
Hey, so cool. Hey, look, if I can work on a folly day, hey, I'm going to work too. I don't want to partake at all. But
no, that's facts.
Some jobs just ain't open. So yeah, hey, I feel it, bro. Get that bread. You
I'll get off on my feast days, so I ain't gonna take off on this. But yeah, so Mark chapter 7, verse 6.
God, this is the book of Mark, chapter 7 and verse 6.
And this is the main thing you gotta get to your family, right? When you giving them the information, when you're teaching them about what's going on out there as far as the feast days and the holidays, let them know that you only keeping these things because it's tradition. And a lot of times they'll tell you that, right? When you start to have a conversation with them about, so when you gonna stop doing this? We didn't have the conversation. I done showed you the proof. We done went through the history. I showed it to you in the Bible. Why are you still doing it? Oh, well, it's convenient. I do it every year. It's the time I can see my family. They start playing the violin. You hear the same song over and over and over again, right? So at some point, you gotta let them know. You're keeping the traditions of men. If you're going to keep these traditions, then I'm going to keep away from you. That's simple, right? Because I don't want to be a part of that stuff. I don't want my hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Some of y'all might be able to go around your family and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Take a couple pieces of turkey with you, a little plate of collard greens, and walk out the crib. But I'm probably going to sit there and eat. If I end up in that situation, I ain't going to lie to you. So I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see, God to say he already on the schedule.
Hey, brother's getting all the bread.
This man wicked.
Hey, look. Hey, while we on that point, before we get this next scripture, I had a sister. She had posted on Facebook that if you own a business, you shouldn't be having to sell at this time of the year. Look, we just had the Friday night call the other day where a sister had asked, is it off for her if somebody hires her to edit a video that has something to do with Christmas? Hey, I don't want y'all all say use the word, but don't abuse it. You know what I'm saying? Use the word for the finances that you're getting out of it, right? So if you do cell phone sales or cell phone repair, and Esau does cell phone repair. And because it's Black Friday, Esau's doing 75% off, and everybody else is doing it. You're not celebrating the Folly Day by doing cell phone repair for 75% off. You're just being smart. We got to learn how to be wise and not destroy ourselves trying to be over righteous.
Giving yourself a competitive advantage because everybody else lowered their prices that day too. Or everybody else working or whatever it might be, right? You know
right. So let's just be, if you're going to keep your prices the same and everybody else is 50% off, you might as well be closed.
Hey, the scriptures say that. It say you got to make yourself friends with the mammon of unrighteousness so that they may receive you into everlasting habitations. Right? So the mammon of unrighteousness is like it's money, right? The way that the world makes money, basically. It's not completely righteous, you know what I'm saying? They do their own thing, but sometimes you got to make friends and put yourself in situations to be able to take advantage of that without abusing it, right? Because money is the root of all evil. If you try to abuse it, you'll get nothing. You know, it's gonna mess you up. So yeah, but once you find the balance, you can definitely use the world as much as you can because it was made for our sake. So keep that in mind. All right, but yeah, man, can't be no more traditions of men. We gotta let that junk go. Mark spoke about that. Matthew did as well. Just give me wait.
We didn't read this yet.
Yeah, I was about to say we need to read that. Mark chapter 7, verse 6.
He answered and said unto them, well have Isaiah's prophesied.
You reading that 16:11. You got V's instead of U's.
Yeah, I know. He answered and said unto them, well hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Mm-hmm.
Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
You see that? Teaching for doctrines the commandments of men, right? Yeah, you know, Japheth's the white man, you know, that's a doctrine, you know what I'm saying? So like, we got to stop all those things, and especially when it comes to the feast days. We got to stop teaching the doctrines of men as commandments, right? Can't do that anymore. We got to let that ride. All right. Give me Matthew 15:3. Is that all I want? Hold on. Scroll down. Never mind.
What you wanted?
Scroll down to 13. Let me see what that says. I can't read.
This is the book of Mark chapter, where we at? Chapter 7 and verse 13. Making the word of Yahweh of none effect through your tradition, which ye have delivered, and many such things do ye.
Yeah, you see that? So a lot of you don't even like, I believe in the Bible, yeah, but then okay, you celebrate Thanksgiving, yeah, you celebrate Christmas, yeah, 4th of July, yeah. Okay. What about Passover? What's that?
Man.
Feast dedication. You mean Hanukkah? I ain't Jewish. Purim? Huh? What's that? You know what I'm saying? Feast first fruits? What? Huh? How you know if the fruit's first? Well, through tradition, they know all about them Thanksgiving, right? They know how to make the collard greens with the ham hock and stuff, right? The perfect green beans, the perfect mac and cheese, the perfect turkey, sweet potato pie. They're gonna go all out, right? So it's all because of your traditions, man. You got that?
What you wanted, Matthew 3?
15 and 3.
Y'all was
Man, my back hurts. I do not know why.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 3. But he answered and said unto them, why do you also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
Why do you transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? That's a question. Red letter. How should I ask that? Why is our people transgression the commandment of the Most High by a tradition that Esau gave? Claim to love the Bible, claim to love God, claim to love Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Claim to love history, Claim to love learning, but we're teaching you other stuff, and you're still gonna be eating damn turkey with your family on Thursday. You're still gonna be playing the little games with them and stuff at the table. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we need to do. We need to stop transgressing the Most High's commandments by our tradition. The only way we do that is by doing this. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16.
Yeah.
We done. Only way we do that is by coming back to the old path.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 16. Thus saith the Most High, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein.
You see that? That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to find the good way, walk therein, and what's going to happen?
And ye shall find rest for your souls.
Mm-hmm.
But they said, we will not hearken.
You see that? So you're supposed to walk therein to find rest for your souls. The old path, right? What's part of the old path? Part of the old path is the law, statutes, and commandments. Part of the old path is our feast days, right? Part of the old path is taking back your heritage, doing things the way our forefathers taught us to do things. And then teaching your family how to do that stuff, training your kids up in the way they should go, so that they lose the traditions that Esau gave us and regain the traditions of our forefathers. That's the point. That's how you raise the righteous generation. That's what we're supposed to be trying to do out here. But instead, our people are trying to hold on to the traditions of Esau, trying to hold on to the traditions of America, hold on to the traditions of being a black man, a Native American, a Hispanic, right? Instead of trying to retake the traditions or grasp the traditions of being an Israelite. That's what we should be trying to do out here. Come back to the old path, right? But the majority of our people are saying we will not walk there. We want to celebrate Thanksgiving. We want our turkey. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. We're going to let them have their turkey. Give me Baruch chapter 4 and 1. This is my response to that. And
yeah, that was unnecessary. I don't know.
Fact, we done.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1.
Yeah, Mikey, there's nothing wrong with the Old Testament, brother. Nothing wrong with the New Testament. It's all the same testament.
This is Baruch chapter 4 verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of Yahweh, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
You see that? So if you keep it, you're going to come to life. If you come back to that old path and keep the feast days that are in this book for you as your heritage, if you're the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, right? So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, then that means you have to, come back to these laws. And if you do, you'll live. But if you continue to keep the traditions that Esau gave you or the white man gave you, if you continue to live in the ways that he's, taught you to live in, then you're going to die. Because those are contrary to the traditions that our forefathers were given, that Moses was sent to teach us, right? That we were supposed to teach to the rest of our people, right? Training them up in the way they should go. So until we get back to that, man, the nation's going to be dead. But when we get back to that, the nation will come alive. All right? So that's your Thanksgiving lesson. Hope you guys show that to your family members and stuff. I know we started at a different time today, so, it was a little weird and stuff. But just know we are going to try to get the class done at 8:30 from now on. So y'all just stay tuned for that. That's going to be the new time if I can make it. All right? So hope y'all enjoyed the lesson. Like the video as y'all lead the building. The water, Sister Joanne. All right. So, hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all do have a nice rest of the week ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go ahead and tune into the class we got tomorrow, True Tuesdays. They got something real nice for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody say bye to Mikey. You know what I mean? And from there, bro. Also, like you see on the bottom of the screen, once again, if you have not RSVP'd to our feast dedication, Mikey, you know what I'm saying? All right, Mikey. Okay now, brother. Watch Watch what you say now.
Mikey, load up your videos to your YouTube channel. Matter of fact, you already got videos. You teach on YouTube. You don't come on everybody's platform and do that. You have classes, right?
Nope.
Shalom.
Classes. So, yeah. Damn, y'all have to block the nigga. You know, it's just some Jake is. Who blocked him? Why y'all do that? I about to know who it was. I already know who it was. But yeah, so all right, Jake. Y'all have a nice week ahead of you. Like I said, RSVP to this feast dedication if you want to go. We may still have some room left, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. If people, decide they can't make it, come through. You know what I'm saying? If you can't come to ours, please try to keep it on your own. You know what I'm saying? Don't just skip the feast. But we'll have more on that throughout the rest of the week. All right?
Come to camp. Come
to camp. Whether it be with us in Atlanta, whether it be with North Carolina. We got brother Mike Kaya over there in Alabama now. So if you doing your thing over there, you know what I'm saying, you want to come see the brother in Alabama, you know what I'm saying, pull up. He's going to be on tomorrow, so he'll be able to give you more information on that. But
North Carolina will be in Atlanta this weekend.
Yeah, but we do got 3 spots that we trying to work on. You know what I'm saying? So we got the Atlanta spot where we started. We got North Carolina, and then y'all Durham. Is that? No, it's not Durham.
No, we in Greensboro. Downtown Greensboro.
Yeah. So we got Greensboro, we got Atlanta, and now we got where Mike Kaya is in Alabama. And I don't know if that's going to be his permanent spot, but the spot they had last week was pretty good. So,
Oh, it's permanent. 208 North Davie Street. That's our permanent spot.
Right, so that's the permanent spot. That's the way it's looking. All right. So yeah, we got 3 spots now. Y'all know where to find us. Y'all pull up to camp, get your edification, get on that class tomorrow, and get on the class on Friday. All right. Shalom.